guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a story time, another one of my crazy story times. But right before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe to my lovely channel. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you will be alerted each and every time I post a new video. Make sure you like this video, and at the end, drop a comment down below and tell me what you think. So we're going to get right into it. Okay, so let me take you guys back. Last year around this time, it had to be around January, the end of January. I was job searching online because, I had just left a job and I wanted to, expand and transition and just find something that, better suited me, So I'm online, I'm applying for so many job applications, and y'all know the anxiety you feel when you get a call from a random number and it's a potential job opportunity because you've been online filling out like mad applications all week. So the job calls me and they tell me that they want me to come in for an interview. So I get real excited. I'm thinking that this is an office position. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to be looking real fancy. I'm about to, level up and, give me an office job, right? So I go in for the interview and it's in New Rochelle. It's a nice, beautiful office. Everybody is wearing like suits and ties, and I'm thinking I'm about to have an office position. They got me waiting in the waiting room, before the interview. My heart is pounding. I'm, trying to figure out what I'm going to say. I'm really excited. I'm like, God, I really need this job. God, please. It's 11:11, God, please. My fingers is crossed. They call me in and they like, okay, you're going to go with this girl. And this girl, I think she's like a manager or something. I'm like, cool. And then they're like, okay, everybody, we're going to meet outside and she's going to be interviewing you. She's going to drive you to the place. So I'm like, this is the first red flag. I'm like, wait, isn't this the office? I mean, where are we going? But I'm like, whatever, it's a company. Let me just roll with them. So I go with the manager, right? And we get in a car and I'm thinking that we traveling from one office to the next office. And we in the car and it's two guys in there that I don't know. One guy's driving, the other guy's in the front, me and the girl's in the back. And during the car ride, she's asking me so many questions. Oh, why you want to work here? Have you done any research on a company? Tell me about yourself. So we driving and we doing an interview, real ghetto, I know, right? I don't know why I didn't pick up on it. We doing an interview, whatever. Then they pull up at, this food place. And at this food place, the workers were wearing rollerblades and they were like, skate up to your car and take your order and then, go back inside and bring you your food. And, the guys, that work there, they offer to pay for the food. I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I got it. I'm like, okay, thank you. And they like, yeah, we be working hard in the field. So I'm eating my French fry. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? The field? I mean, isn't this an office job? So we driving. And they like, oh, we almost here. I'm like, I'm looking around. Now we in Queens. Mind you, I met y'all in New Rochelle at an office thinking I'm coming to an interview. Then y'all driving me all the way up to Queens. So now I'm like, I hope there's not no trafficking, type stuff. Now I'm eating. But I'm like, let me text my mother, tell her where I'm at. I don't know what's going on, but I don't want to panic too soon. So we pull up around all these houses after we finish eating. And the girl, she like, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. So I'm thinking we pulling up to a business like office setting. She like, this is the job. We go around knocking on doors and we sign people up. We ask them for their electric bill. And I'm like, mind you, it's 20 degrees outside. It is so cold. This is wintertime. It's so cold in Queens. She like, yeah, we basically, knock on these doors all day. We ask them about their optimum service. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm in my head, I'm like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? It's cold, I'm freezing. I'm gonna be walking on my feet, knocking on doors for 6 hours straight. I'm tired, I wanna go home. And on top of that, to make matters worse, y'all, the drivers, the guys that drove us there, right? They left us in the middle of nowhere and they gonna pick us up 6 hours later. That's the job. You gotta knock, you know those people that be knocking on your doors that be like, you got your gas and electric bill? That was the job. So I'm like, okay, so the interview was in a car. Now we gotta knock on doors, and I'm following her around and she's knocking on doors, and you know, it's giving me kidnap, Home Alone type vibes. It's deserted, it's scary, it's creepy. So she knocking on doors, ain't nobody answering their door. Everybody is saying, nah, I'm good. It's like mad cats in people's yards, and you know, it's so cold, and she's bundled up. She's bundled up actually. She got on earmuffs and a long coat and a scarf and a hat. And me, all I got on is like some dress pants and a blazer because I was coming professional. I was thinking I was going to take an Uber going, take an Uber coming back. So it's cold, I'm shivering, I'm texting my mother. I don't know how to get home, honestly. So we have to wait on the guys to come pick us back up. And after following her around, she knocked on like 12 houses. You know, she got the door slammed in her face each and every time. This girl looks at me and she's like, so could you see yourself, you know, working this job? Could you see yourself doing this position? I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, hell no, girl, you got the wrong one. I thought I was gonna be in the office. Are you crazy? But I'm like, oh yes, you know, I could definitely see myself, you know, continuing this position. I really learned a lot by the way you carried yourself, and you have, you know, great customer service. This is really, I would say this is really the position for me. I would love to be a part of your team. Whole time I'm like, yo, let me just say this so I could get home. So she's like, cool, you know, I really take a liking to you. I'm going to call the manager and we're going to see, you know, where we go from there. And I'm like, okay, great. So we get to the part where she's like, okay, I'm going to call your Uber back to the place. So I'm thinking that we both going back to the same location where we met. And no, she's sending me an Uber by myself. You know, at this point, I don't even care though. I just want to get back home. But guess what, y'all? The Uber's not taking me home. The Uber's taking me back to the original office. Because remember, the office is not where they work. The office is where they meet. And then they drive out to random places to knock on people's doors and ask about their cable and their gas and electric bill. So the Uber takes me back to the place. And, you know, I don't want to come off as ghetto or ungrateful. So I just carry on with, you know, the regular procedure, you know, that was supposed to take place. I go back to the office. I sit down, you know, with the head manager. He tells me, you know, what do you think about the job? And I was like, oh, this is absolutely lovely. I would love to be a part of your team, and I'm so happy to be here. I had a good time. Great experience, and I learned a lot just by the first day. Whole time I'm inside like, yo, this is horrible. I don't know what I got myself into. I just want to go home. So he looks me in my eye and he's like, I'm gonna give you a chance. And I'm like, you know, I'm in a hard situation because it's like I came out to the job interview, you know, y'all kind of catfished me. Y'all kind of tricked me because online it said it was an office position. Now here I am because I don't know how to say no. I'm too nice. I'm sitting here agreeing to take a job that I don't really want. You know, so, you know, just not to come off as rude or, you know, anything like that. I accepted the position because I didn't know how to say no, you know, at that time. And, you know, I fill out paperwork or whatever. You know, I should have just said I wasn't interested, but, you know, I really thought about settling for that job. I really did because I really needed a job at the moment. I filled out the application or whatever, and then I went home. Let me get to this part, y'all, because this is what really got me. You never know what's going to happen to you. So I encourage everybody to please stay prayed up. No matter where you are going, pray. You don't know what the devil is planning, and you always need God. You always need God's divine intervention because you really don't know. The unexpected can really happen. So I'm in the Uber on my way back. This is the Uber that I'm paying for. And I'm on my way home and I'm thinking everything is cool. And then all of a sudden, I think my Uber driver cut off another driver. And so we're waiting in traffic, and all of a sudden, y'all, this guy starts throwing up gang signs at my Uber driver from his car. He's swerving and throwing up gang signs, and he looked like the type to get out his car and shoot somebody right in their head. So he's throwing up gang signs, and it's kind of scaring me because it looked like something out of a movie. on BET, okay? So to top it off, we get at a red light and he gets out of his car and he starts cursing and he real muscular. So he walking up to the car like this. I'm like, oh my God, it's about to go down. Oh my God. And to top it off, y'all, he literally took his fist and he punched my Uber driver. He was like, get out the car. Now, he didn't punch my Uber driver. He punched the window of my Uber driver. He was punching it, trying to punch out the glass. And he was cursing, saying, get out the car. And I'm in the backseat, y'all. I'm so terrified. I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, please, no, God, not today. Because I really thought that he was really going like, you know, take out a gun or something or shoot my Uber driver. It was just like, I don't know if I'm explaining it well, y'all, but it was really scary. You know, it was scary. It was nighttime. All I see is this big black dude with big muscles trying to punch out my Uber driver's glass window, and I'm in a back seat. And, you know, I'm like, I'm really not trying to even be in no crossfire. I'm panicking. My heart is beating. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I know once somebody shoot the driver, they're going to shoot the person in the back. And at the time, I was only 22 and all I wanted was a job. And oh my God, it was just too much. All I wanted was a job. And I went through hell in one day. But listen to this. A learning lesson. I went back home and I'm like, you know what? I applied for so many jobs. Nobody's calling me back. But this job, even though it's hard, you know, and it's difficult to be knocking on people's doors and, you know, it's giving homeless, it's giving desperate. It's giving homeless because, like, nobody wants to be, you know, knocking on people's doors as a way of living. Like, you know, I'd rather be in one location, you know, and it's giving desperate because in order to eat, you got to make a sale that day. Like, you got to sign somebody up. So I was thinking about settling for the job because I really needed something at the time. And, you know, my mother just told me, like, you don't want to do that job. You know, it's not for you. I really can't see that for you. And I'm like, yeah, it would be difficult for me traveling from the Bronx to Queens every day, standing on my feet for 8 hours outside, going from door to door. Different people, you know, my safety is in danger. You feel me? So I decided to trust God. And God just dropped an idea inside of my head for a particular job, and then I immediately called that job, filled out an application, went in for an interview, hired on the spot. The pay was way better than the job I previously had, and it was stable, and it lasted me a long time, okay, until I transitioned to something better, which is now me being a pre-K teacher. So all in all, guys, I want to say that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You know, it may look hopeless. It may look like it's not going to happen. You may go through challenges, hard times, and difficulties, but never ever settle, and always know your worth, and God will bless you with something better than you were expecting. Just don't give up and don't lose faith. And sometimes you have to go through trials and errors, you know, just to humble yourself. You know, that's why I never look down on nobody. I don't care, you know, how much money people have. I don't really call people broke. I don't look down on people and make fun of people's financial situations because I know what it's like to not have a job. I know what it's like to be looking for a job and just going through that whole job interview experience, you know, seeing people knock on doors. You know, I almost had that type of job. You know, that's why you can't knock nobody hustle. People who are down today might be up tomorrow, and you could be up today and down the next day. So all in all, stay humble, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and put God first. I hope you guys enjoyed this crazy story time, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and comment, and until I see you guys next time, stay tuned.